Okay. Hey, Keem.
Hey, Lou, how's it going?
Y'all don't know just how much I probably screwed something up in pre-production.
We
It's
just,
cool.
we
We
just
are
get right into it.
none of the button. Look, it did not work the way I thought it would work when I pressed the button, but it's fine. We are here to talk about episode 5 of the HBO series The Baby. And we jumped the gun last week. Last week's episode was called The Mother.
Oh,
This week's episode is called The Baby. So, first, how you doing this evening, King, besides my quick screw up there?
I mean, just like childbirth, Lou, it never goes as planned. So, ooh,
So let's quickly jump into this episode as we get a flashback. And I'm going to ask you if you caught her name here, besides me just calling her the old lady this entire time.
I
Or,
did.
yeah,
Nor.
yes, Nor. Okay, so we get a flashback of the old lady slash Nor and her lover. The one that
And
she was screaming about at the end of the last episode, and we didn't understand exactly what was going on here. So, quickly came. When you saw this flashback, and then we get to see just the first scene of the flashback, which is the family at the dinner table, and her husband, Helen, who was her lover, her husband at the time, gets news that his dad is dying. What did you think about just that initial setup? Did you think like, okay, this is clearly going to be an episode where we're going to go through the origin of the baby, something that we hadn't gotten yet?
yeah, I was like, this. We really finna find out about Rupert's like backstory and upbringing, 'cause
Oh, goodness gracious!
like
Again,
we're
go
gonna
ahead.
learn.
Hey,
Um,
oh man, Rupert.
just again, like the whole thing of, especially like even back in the day where women were really just supposed to like manage the house and have babies.
Hmm.
And so she's sitting there looking at her pregnant sister-in-law who's like, I'm pregnant and we listen to classical music and blah blah blah. And she's just like, all right.
she like she like that's not my ministry. That's
Just
not my
clearly
ministry.
this ain't for me, y'all. This I have no interest in how babies are made, what they're made with.
Or even when she said, "Oh, just touches my stomach. Don't you feel it, baby?" And she looking like, "No,
No.
no. I
Absolutely not.
I uncomfortably feel another human." Like
Did not ask for this. Had no interest in it.
exactly. Then we get what most wives unfortunately have to go through, and that is her husband guilting her into pity sex, which leads to the conception of the baby. Did you? I'm trying to find a dignified way to ask this question. Do you think the pity sex led to murder, baby?
No.
Okay.
I mean, the pity sex led to conception. Yes. Uh, maybe partially. Maybe pity
Mm.
sex was like the kindling for murder baby, because it
Yeah,
was like she didn't she didn't want to be there. She didn't want to do it. She's a lesbian, so I mean,
especially at this time where that was clearly against the law to be a
yeah.
lesbian. So
Um, and then
for her,
him just, being like, we moved to where you wanted to move. I let you work. Ooh. We chose the house that you wanted to choose, and still you're like disgusted by me, which kind of has me like all of that, and she's still disgusted by you, but you still trying to beat. Like,
exactly. like,
sir.
like, read the room. Like
And
this is not for you.
and then to do like the snotty nose cry and be like, "Can we still fuck though? Because my dad is dying." Like, no, no, like just so many faux pas. And then our marriage seems to be in shambles and on the
Exactly.
rocks. Let's have a baby.
Hey,
That's gonna
hey,
fix
wait a
everything.
minute. Wait a minute. He didn't trap her, did he?
And figuratively, literally, just
And then hit her with the well, my dad's dying, so sex would be awesome right
It's the
now.
only thing that's gonna make me feel better. Like, can I give your dad like a bowelotomy or something? Like, take mine, take my bowels, give it to your
Yeah.
dad.
Fuck. How about I fuck your dad so he's not, so then everyone's not
I
sad
mean, because
anymore.
you still gonna be here in a year. He's not.
So after the horrible pity sex with her miserable husband, she leaves to go and meet her lesbian lover.
No,
Uh, and that is such a cool lesbian lover name. I'm going to see my lover Noah
no.
in the rain by the van, by the creepy van. But as she meets up here with Noor, this is where they come up with the plan that she's going to leave her husband and live the life that she actually wants to live. In again, I'm trying to be sensitive. Is it sensitive for me to call it a lesbian compound?
I thought of it more as a lesbian safe house. Because Tasha's mom lives on a compound or a
Yep.
commune.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
These are
Yes.
people who go there free of choice. They could be anywhere in the world, but they're choosing to be in this place and like live off of the earth and deny their kids chocolate and make pottery and I don't know, throw period blood at fires. I'm not sure if that's what they were doing. I just know there was something about like a dark Minsty's moon or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anyone who practices, but
Practices
um,
what? What the hell? You know what? We're not even going to get into the caucasity of their situation there. But
I don't know what it was. So
here in the lesbian safe house, this is where she meets Nora's friends, who happen to be just as big assholes, it seems, as Tasha's friends were.
pulling no cut card. Why the fuck you keep coming in here with white women? Like what happened to solidarity?
It all went out the area when you just keep on coming here with these white women.
Like
Look here.
every time. Also, can we talk about how foul that is? She's like the old grandma that's like, oh, you bring a new bitch in here every day. I can't even keep up with them all. Like she just really was like another white one.
All
Okay.
these bitches that can't use my comb. You keep on bringing them in here.
Keep on bringing them in here. But also, when you think about it, from a safety standpoint, because clearly they were at a time when things were probably still a little bit, I don't know how it was over,
No,
across the pond,
they
but
still
things were
racist
still like
across there.
segregated and stuff like that. So, aside from you keep bringing these white women in here, you are literally bringing the heat down on us.
Well, we know they're racist. I mean, look, it's 2022, and even a black woman who would only be a black woman to other racist people because she looks clearly white to everyone else. They like, oh, you got a quarter Negro in you.
Darkening up the palace. Oh, exactly. God.
So clearly here, it would have been a huge safety risk that one, she's married, because they also brought up like she has a husband.
You have a rich husband.
And she's white with a rich husband. Like, what do you understand the danger you have put us in here? Right. But also at this time, amazingly, Helen must have reached out to her husband and decided to inform him, one, that she was pregnant, two, that she was leaving him, as we see a horrible scene in the library where, again, it just shows the time period we're in and women's rights at this time period, that they're just like, oh, you can't work here.
The lack thereof women's
rights. Yeah, there
like,
you go. There you go.
Oh, and the woman being like, I mean, this is a family establishment, Helen. Like, I'm not going to scissor with my girlfriend in like the fictional literature aisle. What the hell?
Like, they're like, you know what gets me so hot? Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. Let's do it right here. Like,
let's scissor to Othello. Like, no. Goodness gracious. No, nothing of that nature is going to happen. But here again, we just see just how horrible it is and just how powerful it is to be a man at this time period that he can take away her livelihood, a job that she clearly had for a while, just because he's upset that she no longer wants to be with him.
A job that he let her have.
Exactly. And then we get next, again, we get the dramatic white woman. I'm leaving my man and I'm on the run. So clearly I need a bob.
I have
I don't know
got to get
why.
this sassy fringe. I
I
was
don't know
digging the
what it
haircut though.
is. I don't know what it is with not even just white women, all women when they escape bad situations. Is that Keen? You've been a woman. Let me ask, is that the official?
Did you say you being a woman or you've been a woman? Like I'm not now. In the past though.
Oh, I said you being a
Okay,
woman.
I'm gonna say still a girl, Lou.
I- Is the Bob the official I'm in danger from getting beaten or taken away
it's
haircut?
it's a haircut in general. I don't know if you've heard the saying when a woman gets a haircut, that means she's about to make a really big change in her life.
Hmm.
Um, it's more, speaking from personal experience, I think it's more of a freedom thing. Like you keep a
Okay.
certain look for so long because that's what you're like in general, that's how women are
Hmm.
expected to look. You're supposed to have the long hair and be soft
Yeah.
and then if you have a significant other who's all about hair, which let's face it, a lot of black men love them some hair.
Yeah.
So, um at some point when you're just kind of trying to live for yourself and reclaim your freedom, reclaim your time, knowing your worth, queen, all of that, you're like, cut all this shit off. Like
Okay.
it's a freeing experience.
Okay. I just had to make sure because single white female, she had a bob. Hand that rocks the cradle, she had a bob. Enough, she had a
The
bob.
shit
Jennifer
out of
Lopez had a
Bob.
bob. Like I did. I
Jennifer
mean,
Lopez had a horrible pixie cut. That was the worst wig they could have put on her for that movie.
I swear Whoopi Goldberg and Karina had a bob. I don't know. I don't know. I just assumed that was a escape, a getaway. Even in Jumping Jack Flash, she had a little bob.
She had a
Wow.
little dread pixie. Now
Yeah.
that you,
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
she did.
see.
It's
But
it's a sign of freedom and yeah,
yeah,
freedom.
but next we get, which is one of the hardest scenes to watch in this episode, as they go to the woman's clinic as she finally reveals to Nora that she is pregnant, and they go to the woman's clinic. I'm assuming to have an abortion.
I think, well, because remember the cops came
Yeah.
to the safe place
Hmm.
banging on the door, and it was like there's a man who's saying that his wife is missing and she has something that belongs to him. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like she stole his watch or some money or
She
something
was
like that.
pregnant.
He
Yeah.
wanted that baby. And so the only way that she could be free and not deal with the bullshit is to not be pregnant anymore. So yeah, I think she was going, they didn't say it, but I think she was going for an
Yeah.
abortion.
And then as she wakes up from her visit, she wakes up to find out that she's back in her bedroom with her husband, who we get a montage at this point of the doctor repeatedly drugging her through the pregnancy. Now, did you think this possibly created murder, baby?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know what you're giving her to keep her sedated and unconscious,
Hmm.
but that cannot be healthy for the baby. I mean, and let's
Not
face
at
it,
all.
this is a time like at the beginning of the episode when they're all sitting around the table and the sister-in-law is like, we listen to classical music because my husband only wants the baby to absorb goodness.
Exactly.
And as she's saying it, he's like lighting up a cigarette and smoking. And then somebody else has a cigarette. So everybody's smoking in the room with this pregnant woman.
Well,
So
it's the smoke didn't affect babies in the 50s, King. Remember?
no, of
Everybody
course
smoked.
not. Never
Yeah.
did.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
mean, by that thought, neither did the neither
Neither
did the
did the
sedatives.
drugs. Yeah,
Yeah,
neither did the drugs. I mean, babies are bulletproof.
they're
Bulletproof.
resilient.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very resilient.
I mean, we were in the war at this time period, or through a war, or in a through a war. There's no telling. Okay, Queen Elizabeth was still alive and young at this point in time, so everybody should have been safe. Everybody should have been safe. But here, after she gives birth to the baby, we see just how disconnected she is from the baby,
Hmm.
and maybe we see why the baby cries all the time now. Because that's also what I was wondering is
I
why did
told
the
you,
baby
Lou,
cry all the time?
that motherfucker is hungry. All he
Clearly.
wanted was the teat. Could not get it. Sister-in-law coming up trying to untie her shirt and stuff, and she's like, "Get off me! No, no,
Like,
not feeding this kid."
but here's when she also manages after months apart. First months apart, we see
Noah.
Noah confront her husband on the streets. Now, I'm not gonna be one to say it, but clearly Noah's the more man in this situation here, because she jacked him all the way up and started choking him out on the street.
Listen, I'm gonna say I won't say she's more of a man, but I'm gonna say the masculine energy, like the ratio,
Oh no, you can say it properly, King. We can say it.
nor husband,
Yeah. No, Nora had
because
big Nora has big dick energy.
she
So she
has huge dick energy. Just the way she yoked his ass up. Also,
Mhm,
I I don't know if I said this offline or if I said this during the first or second episode when we were like, "What's happening with the baby?" And I was like,
mhm.
"I think the baby is cursed." And I don't necessarily want to
Exactly.
say like, racist curse, but
Well, racist curse. It
because
was a racist.
she hit him with the Sealy, like everything you do, like.
Exactly. And then I love that scene because they transitioned from what she was saying to the baby and back
Hmm.
and forth. I guess to let you know, like, technically, this is a curse that she put on the baby out of anger.
She did this. She said, "May you never know happiness again. May your whole line be cursed." So that's the
And
baby.
and wow, ain't that some shit? Now it helps us explains even more of Noah and everything. I'm gonna keep on saying her name that way. I love it to say that. Superstar. But we now see the issues with the baby here because
Hmm.
right after the curse happens is when Helen decides to awaken back up as her husband is going to his father's funeral, and she does everything she can because she looks at this moment as her chance to escape.
Hmm.
So first she reaches out to Noah and let her know that she's safe while not trying to give too many hints because she didn't know what her sister-in-law was going to do.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, her sister-in-law dials the number back,
Her
and Helen.
sister-in-law has if we were in if that was set in 2022, her sister-in-law would have gone through her husband's phone several times.
Yes.
Even with the passcode, she would have figured that shit out and then going through his phone because she was like, No, we calling this number back. I don't like people playing on my phone. Who are you
There you
talking to for real?"
But here's where we get to see just the evilness of the baby being born. At first, she kills the sister-in-law, and the baby finds it to be the cutest, most funniest thing in the world as he sees his auntie stabbed in the neck.
And I feel like she was pregnant again.
Yeah, she was. She was
Yeah.
pregnant.
So
Yeah,
kill auntie and cousin.
yeah. He 2 in 1. Damn, double
Right.
homicide.
Double homicide.
And there she
You
is.
said it before I could.
Oh, so she ends up killing the sister-in-law and the child, and then as she thinks she can finally escape, the husband pops up on the steps and she proceeds to push him down the steps, breaking his neck.
That
In
man had a
turn,
concussion and a broken neck in that
and
order.
and just as she's doing this, who peeps around their crib? The baby, like, oh,
Like, damn.
are we killing niggas? Oh.
That's what's on the agenda for today. That's what's up. Say less.
So at this point, Helen escapes with Noah, and they go to the countryside, to the same countryside that we see at the beginning of the first episode of this series, as
Hmm.
she needs to escape. And she did not think for a second about getting a baby, but she said an interesting thing. She said that baby was never mine.
Hmm. It's not my
D-
baby.
I,
Is it because she felt from? Because remember, she had left, and I think she was
mhm.
like laying in bed with Nora, and all of a sudden she had that ugh feeling in her
Yeah,
stomach. Like that was the moment, like the moment that the baby like attached or whatever. And she was like,
yeah.
"Oh, God, God, ooh, okay." So
So
mm,
for her to say that, and then magically we pan back to the house, and the baby has disappeared out its crib and reappears in the home next to Noah and Helen.
mm-hmm.
Helen wakes up, and the baby commits his first murder.
He's like, kill yourself. Jedi mind trick.
And here, right after this, and Helen disappears, we get what happened at the end of episode 4. We get Noah run out the house trying to find out where Helen is. As she sees the baby screaming and crying,
Mm-hmm.
then Noah goes back to the house and the baby has
Baby's
disappeared.
gone. So one of the things I'm wondering is, did Helen kill the baby too? Like, this is like a poltergeist, like it's a spirit born out of anger and hate or whatever. Like
Yes,
like
that's what I thought.
the little baby, that little boy that was always under the chairs and stuff in, what was that? The Curse? The the one where the chick went over to Japan and she was like staying in the haunted house and
The
the
Grudge.
kid.
Was
No,
that The Grudge?
was it The Grudge? Maybe it was The Grudge. All I know is that there was that poor little Asian boy under the chair just going wah every time like
That
a
it.
cat.
That it. Yep, that's The
The
Grudge.
Grudge,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Rupert is the Grudge baby.
Oh, that makes perfectly good sense now.
Because
So here,
how he ain't never aged. Like,
and
just
and I think that's something that they're going to explore in the next episode. One, that when he can clearly disappear as a baby, which is nuts into itself. But now that he's never aged, is that part of the curse Nor put on the family line?
he's never gonna know happiness because he's never
He can
gonna
never grow
grow.
up,
Um,
and everyone will be miserable. Now it makes you wonder also, and this is just something for us to think about for next episode.
double curse.
Is it possible that all of these women he's attaching himself to are people who is related to his family?
Maybe so. That's possible.
I mean,
Or yeah. Um,
that's something that's definitely going to be something to think about in next week's episode because unfortunately we saw a little preview of it that we weren't supposed to see yet. But
like 10 seconds, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay. They're
Lost
not
for a
gonna
second,
give
but
us no answers, but okay,
hey,
cool.
hey, don't worry about
Uh,
it. This has been another JVS review of the baby and all our technical issues.
oh yeah. Can I just say real quick, I did love it. Was it felt like it was layered with so many different metaphors, or as you say, allegories,
Yep.
feeling like you're trapped in a marriage and then literally being trapped, like you're pregnant, you don't have a job, you can't go anywhere, you have like, and then you have the baby, all of the attention like stops focusing on you, it all goes to the baby because she's just laying there like she could be dead, and they're just like, no, the baby is here.
Oh, they did not care one bit
At
for
all.
anything about her.
No, like, and then to be
And
like, you're a monster for not feeding your baby. Like, I didn't want to be here.
exactly. This ain't my baby.
This is
This your
not my
baby.
kid. Keep the baby. Let me go. This could have all been avoided. Mm. You know what?
1,000% true. Uh-oh.
Helen should have swallowed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another JVS review of The Baby. Again, this is episode 5, The Baby. And you can catch this right after the episode airs on Sunday night. Just come on, clicking over to JVS. Check this out. And Keem, say it.
Smash that like button.
And smash the like button. And that way you can tune into every bit of content that JVS has coming your way. Peace, people.